Our heroes are captured and tortured for information, prodded and probed by the Envy Horde to reveal the secrets of the Tumulti and secure their position as the ultimate species. Will they survive? Will the joining of two new heroes help them overthrow malicious Envy overlords? Will their heroics save the planet? Find out on the epic conclusion to Absolute.
From Dojo Comics comes Siamese, the story of two Chinese-American college graduates whose deviation gene make them extraordinary enough to become superheroines. This trade paperback combines the 4-issue Siamese miniseries previously published by Dojo Comics. As our ladies discover their newfound power, we'll be introduced to other Dojo Comics characters such as the Countryman, Breathtaker, Brickhouse, the Scarlet Archer, and Psionica. Dojo Comics has released over a dozen comics so far. You can pledge with confidence knowing that obligations will be fulfilled. Superheroes are coming back. Don't miss out on Siamese.
Hello, Exilin here. Hey, good evening. I'm here again with the toxic cringe stream with no chill. That's me.
What was I saying, Professor? Yeah. I tried working with Alan a couple of times, and I just couldn't handle it. You know, he pushed his people to the limit, demanding everything, including blood. And talk about paranoia. God have mercy on his soul. He was one ruthless son of a bitch.
Not really. No, I'm a nice guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, welcome. Konbawa. I say konbawa tonight because we have a special Nihonji file, as I am. Brian of Dojo Comics. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Alan?
Good. How are you? Good to see you.
Konbanwa, sir.
Hello. Welcome, chat. Look, it's oh, that's me. I'm about to click on. Oh, happy Jam. Hello, welcome, and oh yes, Nefarious, you made it. You're awake, and some of my other friends who go to bed early, I'm sure they said they'd stop in and yes, but we're here with Dojo-kun, and he's got an awesome looking project here, and it's late where you are. Where are you? Are you on the East Coast?
I'm not quite on the East Coast, but I am in Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Michigan. So it's right. 1 o'clock in the morning right now.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I was telling you earlier, this is kind of the only time I can do this. I spend a lot of my time being a very domesticated dad and husband and and slave.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
Between us, we raised 5 boys. So.
Congratulations, you survived.
Yeah, right. They're all grown and gone. We made it.
Wow. Yeah, mine's in college. I have just one daughter, and she's graduating this year.
Excellent.
Yeah, can't wait. But yeah, I'm a what do you call it? The empty nester. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a good thing to be.
So yeah, since I had all this time and I had this idea that I was kicking around for a long time, I decided to dip my toe into crowdfunding, and here I am doing a YouTube show now.
Awesome.
As you do. But yeah, let's take a gander here at the Siamese. What was the inspiration behind these characters, these sexy Are they twins?
They are twins. Yeah, they're not conjoined twins like is usually referred to as far as Siamese twins, but these gals are both Chinese American. Like the trailer said, they are only 10 minutes apart. The one with the white tail is the older, more mature of the two, and she kind of mothers the younger one. The younger one with the black tail is kind of the wild one. She'll be like YOLO and jump into battle. So yeah, they've got their own characteristics, their own personalities. One is a sculptor, one is an architect, and this miniseries that's collected in my trade paperback, it's 4 issues long, and it's the first comic books that I published as Dojo-kun Comics in 2018. So this is a great jumping off point for the Dojo-kun Comics collected superhero universe. So it's the first 4 of 12 comic books that I've already published under Dojo-kun's banner. This is my first Indiegogo campaign, collecting these 4 as a trade paperback. But I should also let you know that following these 4 will be another 4-issue miniseries called Deanna, Hammer of the Angels. And we're almost done with number 1 of that series. We're on page 19 of 22. So hopefully you'll be seeing that one begin later this year as an Indiegogo campaign. But first, we're going to see how this goes and fulfill this one. I'm not going to try to run more than one at a time. But just so you know, the top tier of this campaign will feature the regular cover for the trade paperback, all 5 variants of the trade paperback, and 1 copy of every Dojo-kun comic published so far.
All right.
So one thing I'd like to show you is the comics that I published. If you, I've got my screen shared. If you want to go ahead and
sure.
bring that up for me. Right here, we can see the comics I've already done.
Wow.
So
That's quite a bibliography.
Yeah, it's a library. I've been at this for a while. I've been paying for these out of pocket, and that just goes to show that I'm serious about this. I've been in it for 6 years now. I worked for 2 other small press companies, and I can show you some of the titles I worked on there right here. So I wrote Shadow Faction. I wrote The Commander. And then these others here, I was either the publisher or the editor or something like that for the other companies. But for my own company, I've got these here. So the Siamese 4-issue trade, or the 4-issue miniseries. Deanna is in development, and that's right here. It's number 1. After that one's done, all of the characters introduced in those 2 miniseries will become this team, Trident's New Alliance. And I've written about 7 or 8 scripts for New Alliance. So I'm prepared to be in this for the long haul too, not just have been a while.
And this is that the one that's coming to Indiegogo, Deanna?
Deanna will come to Indiegogo later this year. That's right.
Oh, all right.
So to talk about some of the others that I've done, this here is a compendium, like an encyclopedia of my characters. There's over 100 characters featured in this book, the Dojo-kun Comics Annual Compendium. This one here, Alliances, is my homage to like the old DC Comics Presents or Marvel 2-in-1, where there was a host, like the Thing in Marvel 2-in-1 would be there every month, and then he'd have a guest star from the Marvel Universe. So in mine, the host is Breathtaker, and she'll have a guest star each issue. The first one is with Sovereign. And for a good look at Breathtaker, she's right here in the purple.
Oh, wow.
So she's quite a breathtaker.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Do you have a large team of artists behind you? Or?
I do. So I work with folks pretty much around the world. I have artists in Italy, New Zealand, Argentina, Brazil, Russia, Spain, Barbados, Canada, and the U.S. In fact, a couple of them are right here in Michigan.
Wow. What about Australia?
None of my artists come from Australia, but I did get one of my variant covers for the Siamese trade paperback is by the Barton brothers. So I'm excited to offer that one. They will be their cover will be featured as a limited edition hardcover. So there will be 50 of those available on its own tier. And then at the top tier that I mentioned, you'll have the opportunity to get all of the variant covers, including that hardcover, and all of these here, all 12 issues that I've done as Dojo Kun Comics.
Oh man, that's a great deal. That sounds like...
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing people's reactions to what they read when they see these. It's a connected universe, like I said. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
Alan?
I was going to ask a connected universe, right? Yeah.
Right. So Breathtaker, the one who is in the team later and here in her own series as the host of Alliances, debuts in Siamese #2. So if you get the trade paperback through this campaign, you'll see her appear in several issues, or within the trade paperback, you'll see that she's in that collected issue. The postcard that you'll get if you sign up before the launch will be of this cover here. So if you sign up before launch and then later back the book, you'll get a postcard print of Siamese #4, but it won't have all the trade dressing on it. It'll just be the picture. So it'll be a virgin version.
Nice.
Say that 10 times fast, right? To give you an idea a bit about Dojo Kun, those are the 5 rules of the karate dojo. I've been a karate student since college, and I really wanted to pay it some honor. Also, too, Toro Tales is my anthology book, and the Toro is the stone lantern you see in my logo. So this anthology book, the first issue is available. It's got just 4 titles in it, though. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. So Sparrow, Bot 42, and Lone Shark are in their own stories. And then these 2 gals, Halia and Ondine, are mermaids, and together they form the team H2O.
Wow. All right.
Oh, hey, I'm in. How's everyone going? How's everyone doing?
Liam.
I didn't realize I'd been added to the call.
Welcome.
How you doing, man?
Hey, there's Liam. How you doing, Liam?
I'm good. It's nice to meet you, Dojo-kun.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah.
How long you been doing this? You got a bunch of titles here.
Yes, sir. I've been publishing as Dojo Kun Comics since 2018. And then for 4 years before that, I worked with 2 other small press companies and published all of these books here. I was the writer of Shadow Faction 1, 2, and 3, and all of these issues of The Commander.
Nice.
So
you said you're working with small publishing houses. Who were you?
Well, the 2 previous companies, I used to work for them. One was Affinity Storm Press, and the other was Red King Press.
I've heard of Storm Press. I haven't heard of the other one.
After I left them, I started my own company, and that's Dojo Kun started in 2018 in February.
Cool.
So that's one of the things I like to impress upon people is you can pledge with confidence that I will be backing, or I will be fulfilling this. I've been publishing for a while, so it's and in fact, all 4 issues are done. So it's a collected trade paperback. Now, in the back, of course, there will be.
How many pages are you? How many pages are you per issue?
Per issue, it's 22 pages. So in addition to that, though, there will be concept art. There will be a fan art section and a pro art section at the back. So it'll be over 100 pages when it's all collected.
That's awesome. I'll be back in just a minute. Just a minute, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so how did you get into the crowdfunding?
Oh, yes. So I belong to about 30 or 40 different comic book groups on Facebook, and I was posting my characters there one at a time and talking about who their inspirations were. So, for example, if I put Siamese up there, I might offer Catwoman and Black Cat as inspirations that may have, influenced their creation. And when I was doing that and posting them there, one of the guys in CG reached out to me and said, these are great, but you probably shouldn't put them out there on Facebook until after you've published them in comic books. And I said, funny you should mention that. Allow me to show you my website. So I took him out to the website, and he was like, oh, wow, this is great that you've been doing this for a while. Why don't you see about becoming part of CG? And I hadn't heard of CG. So he and I talked about it a while. It sounded like something I really could be a part of and agree with the tenets. So his first suggested stream to go on was Michael Bancroft's stream, Late Night with Comicsgate. And I've been attending that every night so far, with perhaps one or two exceptions.
Yeah, Bancroft's a great guy. Fun show. Good
Yes,
gig.
absolutely.
Good place.
Yeah.
Good crowd.
Great
Good crowd.
chat.
It was a great stream to begin with, and
He's like the straight man to a chat full of Marx Brothers.
a chat full of boggins. So, in fact, I'll be launching Siamese on Michael's show on April 5th.
Nice.
So for you, Liam, that'll be April 6th in the mid-afternoon.
Because we're in the future, yeah.
That's right, yes. I need to talk to you about some lottery numbers in a little bit here. I'm sure you've never heard that joke before. So yeah, guys, here's an example up here of some of the swag that will be available with my campaign.
Oh, man.
There will be some chibi stickers. A metal
who did those for you?
Oh, that was Alec Thomas.
They're appealing. They're an appealing style.
Thank you. Yeah, I do enjoy them. I'm going to have him do many more as I go through my Indiegogo campaigns. But I think he did a great job of them. I love the little like colorful circles that he adds to it. I don't know why, but that seems to really add some depth to it for me.
It adds character because you can sort of add in the color with the sort of pose and personality he's put to give an immediate response to the viewer. So that's why the circles work. The different colors tone well. So it's a good move. The guy's talented, obviously. I was hunting around for chibi artists for a while, and it's not always easy to find someone.
Well, if you'd like, after the show, I can send you his contact information.
Yeah, sure. That'd be good.
I'd be happy to steer some business his way.
I like stuff like this. Like, I want to use stuff like this as a promotional advertisement on my Indiegogo campaign, even if it doesn't appear in the book. I want to use chibis of the characters and stuff just for, sort of like, buy this comic, little advertisement stuff.
Oh, great idea.
Appealing. Yeah. So have you already broken down? Look at me. I'm in here 5 minutes. I'm already taking over the show. Feel free.
I know, right? I'm like, hey, wait a second. Are you interviewing me? Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. All of a sudden, I'm on Liam's channel.
Yeah. Can I ask some questions?
Oh, go ahead, man. Yeah. Hey, you know what? The reason I chose this time actually is because I know all the Australians are up, and all the Australians are raring to go at this hour. So where everyone else is asleep.
Awesome. So have you broken down what Siamese is yet? And I just missed it. Like, you've got these two characters here. Like, are they twins? Like, what's the deal with that? Have you actually explained that all to the audience yet? And I just missed it, or?
Yes, sir, I did. They are twins.
You did. Okay.
They're about 10 minutes apart in age. Their power set is that they're super dexterous. They're martial artists. They have claws and prehensile tails. And it appears as though the tails are part of their costume, but it's not.
Okay, cool. So that's one way that they're. I'm going to hit you with the hard questions because I do that. That's why I'm the villain of the world. That's why I'm the antagonist here.
What you got?
So you're going to see. You're going to catch a lot of their designs, a lot like Catwoman. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
yes.
Tell me, how are they different to Catwoman? Tell me the differences between them and Catwoman.
I'm glad you asked. Well, number one, there's two of them, obviously. Number two is their characteristics are going to be very different. They're not an anti-hero or an anti-villain like sometimes Catwoman is characterized. These gals are just fun-loving superheroines who they're superheroes because they thought it would be a great adventure. Now, if you take a look, of course, at their covers, they find that not everything goes their way, particularly when they're subjected to becoming werecats.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That's against their will. So that's not to say Catwoman doesn't experience challenge. I'm just saying that I'm writing them with their own personalities and characteristics so that although they may have an appearance that resembles her, they'll be very different characters.
So they're turning into werecats there. You said that that's not of their own volition. Were they turned by something? Is it inherent into their abilities, their powers? Like,
they were turned by someone.
That's kind of cool. I mean, the classic "you turn into a monster" thing is an oldie, but it's a goodie. Do
they happen to become feral at some point? Or did you ask that already? No.
They do become feral. It's a problem, and they have to address it in issue number 4, which will be at the end of the trade paperback. That issue is also their origin story.
Cool. So why did you choose Siamese as your debut title for Comicsgate? You know, like for you've got a whole bunch of stuff here by the looks of it. Why did you pick Siamese above everything else you've done?
Siamese is the first 4 issues that I published under the banner of Dojo-kun Comics, and it also introduces several more of the superheroes in my connected superhero universe. So Breathtaker, Brickhouse, Psionica, Scarlet Archer, and the Countryman also all appear and debut in the Siamese trade paperback, or in these 4 issues. So those 4 will lead into Deanna Hammer of the Angels, which is here, and more characters will be introduced there, such that when those 4 issues are complete, Trident's New Alliance will be my ongoing team book featured by Dojo-kun Comics, and it will incorporate many of the heroes that were introduced in Siamese and Deanna. So starting with Siamese is the perfect jumping on point for anyone who's interested in the Dojo-kun universe. And if it does well, and Deanna number 1 is almost complete, I'll follow it up with that one as an Indiegogo campaign too.
I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit because a lot of people just try and jump in with team books. And I keep telling everyone, stop jumping in with team books. So even though you've got like a duo here, you know, that's still a better move for us to get to know the characters. You've got 4 issues, you've got good page count, and then you're going to expand through into a large universe, which I think is the right way to approach this stuff for anyone, right? Because if you've got a team that no one cares about, you know, what are you doing? But look at how the Marvel Cinematic Universe did it. Look at how the Avengers did it back in the day. Look at the Justice League. You would establish all your characters first. You'd introduce them, trickle slowly so people are caring. Then you bring them together as a universe and a team with later releases, with later publishing. And I think that's the right way to do it. So
I agree, and I thank you for that. Something I also plan to do, and whether or not I do it with the same kind of skill will be up to the fans and readers to let me know. But the heyday of comics, in my opinion, were when Marv Wolfman was writing the New Teen Titans and Chris Claremont was writing the Uncanny X-Men. And the reason I say that about those two in particular is they didn't just have flashy heroes. Of course they did. But they also, they wrote them to have interesting interactions where they became like a family. They did argue among one another, and that kind of dynamic will be explored in my books. But and not everything is all rosy, but at the same time, they have a care and a love for one another, and they begin to grow respect for one another when they, meet their challenges and work together.
Okay, so I'm going to throw you another hardball question. So get ready to catch this one. So these titles have already been previously released, so they're going to be available already on the secondary market. Are you going to be adding any additional content or any making of or any sort of new stuff to the graphic novel that you release, or are you simply going to be releasing at a higher premium quality with the compilation graphic novel? What's your plan?
The graphic novel is going to have these 4 issues in it with all of the covers, interior covers and back covers, but it will also have a fan art section, a pro art pinup section, and some behind the scenes concept art. So it will have new material. It'll be over, 22 pages 4 times is only 88 pages. So this will be an over 100 page graphic novel trade paperback.
Yeah, no, that's great. That means you'll have room for a nice little spine on it as well.
Yes. It will be perfect bound. Yes, it will.
Oh,
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Wow, Liam, way to go.
Yeah, thanks for
Sorry. I'm always interested to see what people do. I'm always interested to see what people will do. What's to do with the angel?
The question I had was, who's the broad in the green in that group shot?
The broad in the green. Let's go down and have a look.
And the one
on the team book?
Yeah.
This one down here?
Yeah.
She is Spice.
Oh, evidently.
So yeah, this is Spice. She's Star Step, my speedstress. This is Dr. Primordial with the sword on his back. Brickhouse is the shape changer. Psionica is back here in the back. This is the Countryman with his arms folded. This is, of course,
I like that. Tell me about the Countryman. What I want to know about that. Tell me about
Countryman will be my homage to characters like Captain America, for example. He's going to be sort of like he'll be like Mark Polton. He'll be the moral compass of the group. And I can tell you what, a lot of these people are hotheads, so he's going to find that he's got his work cut out for him. And the last character I didn't mention is Boost. Now, Boost can mean thievery, but it also means to bolster someone, and that's what she can do. She can increase the other people's powers and abilities.
Yeah, no, it's nice. You've got a nice sort of you got a nice grasp for names there. They sound like superhero names. Some people struggle with that, so that's nice to hear. And you can build a good character out of a good name, and I think Countryman is a great name for a superhero.
Thank you.
And Dr. Primordial, he sounds mysterious and dangerous with the.
Yes,
I don't like the sound of him.
Deanna Hammer of the Angels has like an angelic origin. He has more of a demonic origin, and he's going to be the team's sorcerer.
Okay.
Sounded like it. I love that name.
So yeah, I heard you mention as I was up here, what's up with the angel?
This is Deanna. What's up with the angel? It's got like the black and white, the yin and yang. What is that?
Yeah, this is Deanna, and Siamese, of course, are helping her with her modesty.
Oh, it's their tails. It's their tails. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So does one of the Siamese girls have a black tail and the other have a white? Is that the way it's working, or is that just the lighting?
Correct. Yeah, that's the only difference between the two as far as their costumes go.
Hey, I like that. I like that. So what's their? Oh, you've already told. I'll ask you on another stream in the future when it's just you and me.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. So you're giving us poker chips.
Yep, there'll be.
You're feeding our gambling addiction. And,
that's right. I'm an enabler sometimes. And then here, this is a challenge coin. This will be one of the stretch goals. It is a longstanding military tradition that a challenge coin is issued to those people who do something heroic. It's sort of branched out since then. Challenge coins are issued by corporations, by first responders, and things like that. And I've seen a few of these in campaigns that were not necessarily comic book related, but I liked the idea. I was arranging one for my corporation, the company I work for in my day job, where I'm a fraud examiner and an internal auditor.
Really?
Yes,
that's
sir.
Cool.
All right.
That's awesome.
I was putting together the challenge coins, and I thought, hey, I have an idea. I can do that for Siamese. So that'll be a stretch goal, though, because those are not inexpensive.
So you were a fraud examiner, did you say?
I did.
So that means that you have to have professional level integrity to do the job that you're doing. I would say. Absolutely.
In fact, they require that we take 2 credits of ethics every year to maintain our certifications. I actually have 5 certifications. I'm an internal auditor, a fraud examiner, an anti-money laundering specialist, an internal controls auditor, and I'm certified in risk management assurance.
Excellent. All right, I'll promote you. That's all I need to know. I'm serious. I'll promote you. We need men with integrity in the industry making comic books, and you seem to have a grasp on, you've got good superhero names. You seem to have a good planned out campaign. Have you thought about doing any sort of variant covers or anything like that? Like, what's the cover on your graphic novel going to be? Because you've got your 4 down there.
Well, these 4 will just be inside the graphic novel. This is largely what the cover will be like. It's got art here by Gilbert Monsanto, and in fact, Liam, I have 5 variant covers. One of them will be a hardcover limited edition by the Barton Brothers.
Oh, okay. That's something I'm interested in. That's hardcover. Man, you're going to be reaching here. I'm going to tell you, because hardcover was hard to do for even Vinny, But have you looked into shipping and everything? Yes. Because you're going to have a bigger book. You're going to know your weights and everything. Because right. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Good.
That I've got vendors lined up for all of these various items. The metal keychains, the poster here. The coin, all of this. I've done the research and got them all.
The Barton brothers will give you a really good cover. They'll help sell this book.
Oh, they already did. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Where is it? Can I see it? Have you shown it yet?
I have not shown it.
Wait. Do a big reveal for it. But
is it the night? No.
It'll be on.
He's going to do it on Bancroft.
On the launch. Yes, that's right.
That's the way to go.
Although I'll tell you what, if you go search out the Barton Brothers show, they revealed it when they had me on their show.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
I also have covers by Arias Hernandez, and Arias is from the Philippines. He's the one with whom I'm working on this book, Megan War. He's a former Disney animator. He worked on Tarzan, he worked on The Lion King, and he worked on Kim Possible. So,
who is this? Who's this again?
Arias Hernandez. And he did a cover for me for one of the variants. I've got a cover by Zilson Costa. Zilson is from Brazil. He's working with me on this one. This is his art right here on the shifter. But he's also the one who did the art for Siamese numbers 3 and 4. And this is his art here on the right.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay.
Very dynamic.
Good. I'll tell you what, if you just scroll back up there, like this is usually valuable marketing. Just scroll back up to the top there. Like, see that 4th issue that you've got there with them as like werebeast girls, like as werecats. When you first showed me the with the page that we're scrolling down, that's what immediately drew my eye. I think that's probably your best cover out of everything there, because it's what I immediately looked at, because you've got the red bar and a very dynamic action scene. You've got movement happening. So I don't know if that'll help in anything from a marketing point, but that's where my eye went.
Well,
so,
I appreciate,
and that's not just here. That's just not here. That's on the other one too. That was the first thing I noticed.
Okay.
So looks good.
I appreciate the comment. One of the tiers in my campaign will feature that as a 12x18 metal print.
Oh, beautiful. Well, you're going all out, man. You're going all out.
I am. Yes, I've done a lot of research. I've watched very closely. Even though I haven't been in CG very long, I started in October. I've been watching closely, sometimes lurking in streams, and sometimes reaching out to the creators and asking them for advice. I got some great advice from Bancroft, Rob Arnold, and Leroy. And their best piece of advice, honestly, I was ready to launch my campaign on the eve of my birthday, and they said, what you probably ought to do is go into pre-launch sign-up first. And the reason they wanted me to do that is to get an opportunity to go on streams like Alan's and show my book and get not just known as Dojo Kun, but also show the quality of what I'm going to be presenting, so that people can look at the two of those things in combination and then decide to back if they'd like to.
Yeah. How many signups have you hit at this point so far?
The last I looked, I was at 95.
Right.
Oh, all right.
So how long have you been circulating your mailing list for?
So I've been doing this since the eve. So on February 18th, I started.
So a few months. You're at 90.
I've recently seen you pop up. I've seen you on Twitter for a while. But yeah, it's been in streams.
The thing that you've got in your. Sorry, Hex. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah.
Sorry,
I was just saying that.
I was rude. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I forgot I was even on my stream. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You're in my head, Ian. Liam.
Yeah.
And I keep calling you Ian. I don't know why I keep calling you Ian.
It's okay. It's okay. So
I know
the advantage of this is you can offer a lot of these. You can offer a lot of these things like the metal prints and stuff, because you've already paid for all of this art production. You've already done it all. You've got it. So you've really just got to cover your expenses. A majority are primarily going to be going into your printing and your variant covers and stuff like that. So that's a good move. I mean, that's the way you should do it. And I like that you're doing a larger book too. It'll mean that I think that one of the things that we really neglect in the indies, in the crowdfunding scene, really is the reader's experience, which is kind of sort of nasty to say, I know, but like, you don't want to put yourself in the shoes of the customer for a minute. You don't want to pick up a comic book, right? And then read 22 pages and then be like, and then what? And then have to wait 6 months to a year, read 48 pages and be like, and then what? And then have to wait another year to get a full close. Whereas you're providing 4 full issues. That's the standard size of a 1990s comic book series arc. You know, you're going to have a full course throughout the adventure. You're going to get to know the characters. You're going to get to see action. And it should leave you with a primed enough experience that after you're done, you'll know whether you want to continue on to the next 4 to 6 or whatever it is chapter arc that you develop, which I think is a very good business move. I think it's very, it considers the customer, and I think that that's good. I know that that's throwing a lot of shade at other people, and it's not fair when some people have already got stuff already finished and other people are working on it now. But, the time frame releases between the books and the reader's experience is going to come first, especially for these smaller guys, right? Like, you're starting out here, not many people know who you are, but you've got this big history. You do this, and if you don't break 100,000, right? Really, the hype is going to come from the people receiving your book and the investment and excitement they have around the story, the plot, and the characters. So you've got to make sure that is a ballpark hit, right? You know, and that's what us smaller guys have to count on. We can't count on like, look, the art's real pretty, because you get one of those. You get one art is real pretty. If your writing's not there, people aren't going to return.
That's true.
So,
yes, absolutely. Now, one of the things you said, you know, people not knowing me, that's exactly why I'm getting on so many streams. This is my 35th show that I've been on to Shield Siamese, and I've got more lined up. I really like to get people's eyes on this book and, you know, build up the excitement for it, because I have put a lot of work into this and a lot of my own money. I want people to see that this is something that I'm very passionate about and serious about providing. And the money, as you mentioned, it's to cover a lot of the costs, not the art. Obviously, I've already paid for that, but for the campaign itself, and to be honest with you, to move more swiftly with Deanna, Hammer of the Angels. As I said, issue number 1 is almost done, but 2, 3, and 4, I'd like to have them follow quickly on its heels.
Yeah, no, and that's definitely a good way to go. Some people say, like, space out your campaigns to make them months apart, and I just think, like, look, why?
Yeah, so long as you can get them done and fulfill in a reasonable amount of time, go ahead and get them out there.
And if they're enjoyable, people get them and read them and they'll buy it. Like, imagine if someone said, like, oh, yeah, you can only release 1 copy of Superman every 2 months. Like, what? Are you retarded? It's like, oh, there's a Marvel annual this month that features Spider-Man, so we're just going to knock off 2 of the other Spider-Man titles. Like, no. It's like, oh, but the customers won't be able to afford it. But the customers that want it will buy it. You know, like, you stretch it all out, and it costs about as much as a cup of coffee a day. So if a comic book is worth you a cup of coffee a day, then, you know, it's within your range. And if you can't afford it, that sucks. But there's a secondary market, and holding back for the few people that can't afford it, like, that's not going to help you earn enough money that you can bring your costs all the way down so that they can end up being able to afford everything you do. Right now, we're laying the foundations and the building blocks to make this stuff economically viable. Some people are like, hey, $20, $25 is too much for a 48-page graphic novel. It's not enough. To those people, I say, like, hey, look, I want to bring this right down for you guys. I want you to be paying like $5 for one of my books. That's what I want. That's it.
That would be fantastic.
But until I'm selling like 2,000 of them, I can't do that. If I can move 2,000 units, 4,000 units, I can bring this down to $5 an issue for you guys, and it'll be like nothing. You can buy every single thing I do, and it's going to be top quality, best stuff coming out of that you'll see. Then I'll be able to branch out to other people that have their ideas, bring them in under me, and I'll be able to push their stuff out with them with competitive rates as well, so that we can all grow and build up and actually rebuild this atrophying comic book industry. But unless I've got people that are going to invest and the faith and the ability to move the units, that ain't going to happen. So we got to charge what we charge now, and we can't be afraid of the market. We can't be afraid of not selling, because, I mean, once upon a time, people laughed at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous. It was silly. Now it's $1 billion franchise. You know?
Oh, I kick myself for not picking up that first issue. When it came out, and I looked at that, and I thought, that's just a spoof of the X-Men and the Teen Titans, and I didn't buy it. Oh, so wrong.
I know. It's like, hey, you can't be afraid of your success. You can't be afraid to tackle it and push yourself forward, you know? And I mean, that doesn't guarantee that there's always going to be success, but, you know, stuff like this, you're clearly a man that loves this. You've got another job that means that you don't need to do this. You don't need to be doing comic books.
That's right.
So this means that this is something you're passionate about. You know, you're an ethical man. You're a man with integrity. And,
thank you.
You know, I'd like to see you succeed. I would.
I think
I'd like to see everyone succeed.
If you and I succeed, it'll only help each other.
That's right.
You'll find a lot of. I'm sure you've already found so much support in this network of ours. This thing of ours.
That's right.
How much support did you largely have outside when you're with these initial projects and stuff, do you have much of a following or anything prior to coming into the crowdfunding space?
Oh, to be completely transparent, no, sir. There wasn't. I didn't have a great marketing strategy. That's, I think, where my weakness is. And getting this out into the hands of the people was difficult. And when you look at a site like Amazon or Indie Planet, there's dozens, perhaps hundreds, maybe thousands to choose from. And Siamese, if someone sees it, they might give it a chance. But now, given the chance that I've been given to talk to people about it, to show my dedication to it and give you the opportunity to see all of the covers, it puts more eyes on it, and the support and encouragement of the CG community has been spot on, and I can't be grateful enough about it.
Yeah. For sure. So do you want my negative criticism?
Oh, sure.
Live? Do you want me to destroy you live?
Criticism is welcome. Let's hear it.
We've already done that.
I think that you could manage a better logo. I think that the logic behind your logo is good, but I think the execution could use some work. I think that that'll help with your marketing a little bit. I think that having the new cover will help a little bit. The art that you've got on the covers is solid for interior. And in the current modern market with what you're competing with, given the current skill levels of your competitors within the independent space and the mainstream. But I think you will need that buffed up cover. I would look at if you can budget it in, talking to someone like Dean James, I think he is. He's the guy that did the Cyberfrog logo for Ethan. You could talk to Matt Tobor. Yeah. You could, no. James, is it James Dean? No, it's not Xevious. No, it's not Xevious.
James Dean
it's a guy that. Yeah, it's not. Is it James Dean Anderson? Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'd try hit up him or another graphic designer. Getting logos is really, really hard. It's something that I've found is really difficult. But him, Matthew Fitzgerald, Matt Tobor, my guy, or Bob Stone's usually pretty good, but he can be a bit slow.
Yeah, I forget there's a lot of people out there. Yeah.
It's hard to find good logo guys, but you've got a good solid concept for what you're like in what you've put there, but it is not quite like boom. You want it to be able to pass what they call in the industry like the 10 feet rule. So you want to be able to put it up on the wall and stand back like 10, 15 feet and be able to pick it out from like 15 other comic books on the cover. And I think that what you've got there doesn't quite pull that off. That'd be my first criticism. And that'd be really it from looking at what you've got here on the pages, from what you're presenting. The other thing might be that you might be making the same mistake that some of these other guys did, where you're front loading your kitsch. Like, you're going, look, I've got all of this cool stuff that you can get, but that's all extra cost. But you actually might have an advantage there because you're not going to have to be paying for your artist. So all of your income you're going to be able to put to that, which could be a good thing. If you study Art to Bear and the campaign that he put together for Black and White, if you have a look at the packs and stuff that people got with that, that was very rewarding, very fulfilling, and you'll probably be able to recreate that with what you're doing. But you are going to be creating additional expense for you, which I'm not sure, given your current level of reach, because not many people know who you are yet, that you'll make up for your expenses in that regard. Does that make sense?
I do understand. Yeah, I appreciate the advice.
It is good to have all that extra cool stuff though, because that keychain is extra marketing. People are going to go, what's that? Like if someone wears it on their bag or their purse or their keys, it is good for you long-term, for long-term growth. But these are things I don't know if you considered or not. And they're stuff that I would run by anyone that was just doing their first crowdfunding, because it's scary. The first 2 months of your crowdfunding are actually really scary, because the funding either explodes or it crawls, right? Yeah. And you're like, But thankfully, you've got your job and everything. And I truthfully wish you the best. I wish you success. But these are stumbles and hurdles that other people watching that may want to be going to crowdfunding may find themselves encountering too. So I just thought I would bring it up.
Great. I appreciate the advice.
No, cool. I know that I can be a bit blunt, I can be a bit rude, but if that said, if your stuff was garbage, I'd be telling you that too.
Liam,
So
I'm an auditor. People are blunt to me all the time.
Are you familiar with Liam?
No, but I have heard him on streams before, and I know what he means when he says he can be blunt.
Oh yeah.
I mean well. I truthfully do. I want you to do well. I want everyone to do well.
Thank you.
You know, I am the most hated man in comics. So I mean,
he's
I don't
a
know
bitter
about all
dose
that.
of bitter dose of vitamin C. He's so orange. He's the most bitterest dose of vitamin C.
Yeah,
But,
that's right.
We all need it. Spaceships. Yeah. Yes, I do. I did. Yes. And I'll be revealing more spaceships. John Del Rose wants the link. I don't know what for.
Because he wants to come in here and try and create content off me because he lacks the ability to generate it for himself.
Wow.
So, sorry, Johnny boy. Keep walking. Back to your sewing circle. Back to your sewing circle, JDA. You know, I have no desire for your lady talk. So
we're not here to fight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, people check out the Siamese, the trade paperback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming soon. Wow, launching April 5th. April 5th, right?
That's right.
All right.
Which is awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And you'll get a free Siamese postcard print for signing up early or signing up at all.
Signing up before the launch.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it's 2 weeks away. We got 2 weeks away now. I'm currently in massive development. I've got like 4 books, technically 5 books working on. In addition to about 4 books and one in addition to the one that I'm doing myself. So like that I need done before October because that's when the baby comes. But I'm going to be shifting I'm going to start doing some evergreen content for my YouTube within the next couple of weeks after I finish development. And then I'm going to be back to live streaming and I'll be back, doing my full thing then. So I should be back and able to help you promote your book and stuff around the time that you launch. So if you're in about 2 weeks. So
okay.
That's good.
Great.
But right now I've got to help out, the Embrace, because that's something that I think has a lot of potential, and I want to help out company men, but I'm just not on the YouTubes enough. Like I've got so much other stuff I need to be focused on right now, but those are the 2 that I think have a lot of potential and are being a little bit overlooked right now that I think need a bit more of a push.
Okay. Yeah, both of those books look fantastic. I backed them both.
Oh, awesome. Excellent. Yeah, and guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, true believers, if you want to back something to help out a genuine industry pro, genuine legend that puts the customer first, check out Vinny Tartamella's Shadow of the Kraken. He's faced an incredible amount of an incredible ordeal with fraud and various other things, and he's still only at I think he's still shy of 20,000. So you're going to be getting an amazing story, an amazing product, and it's available now on Indiegogo.
Liam, when that guy in Kazakhstan copied his campaign and posted it on Kickstarter as his own, it was brought to Kickstarter's attention, and they said it didn't violate their terms of service. So as a fraud examiner, I took umbrage with that, because when I see fraud being perpetrated, I am obliged to report it. So I took it to the Federal Trade Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission contacted Kickstarter, and it was down within 3 hours.
You are a legend. You are a legend. Thank you.
Does Vinny know
Thank you
that?
because
Vinny and I were talking about it at the time, and I also gave him the form to inform the Federal Trade Commission. So he and I both contacted them, and it was
legend. Down. Thank you so much. Vinny's I've known Vinny for nearly 20 years at this point. Like, Vinny's a good friend, and he's legitimate, and he cares about the fans, and he has good product. And these people that were trying to screw him and drag him and wreck his career just because of his proximity to me, thank you for helping him. Thank you.
We are here to support each other. And when I saw that, I said, no, I'm not going to let that go.
You legend. I had no idea, man.
You are a mensch.
If you need anything, seriously, if you need anything, let me know. I owe you one, because
Thank you, man.
I shouted that out. I shouted that out to the fucking mountains, Tug did, a few other people did, and a lot of the fat cats that were sitting on top of the mountain sort of looked down and said, well, we want him to fail, so we're just going to say fucking nothing, and it was like, it's bullshit, because Vinny is a once in a generation talent. Like, he's a fucking true savant at what he does, and a harder work you'll never find. And he doesn't deserve to have someone coming and trying to wreck his reputation and his name. Ryan Cardinal, also awesome dude, so's Comics Mate. But yeah, no, Vinny is a good dude, and he needs our support because he got screwed in the mainstream, really badly. Like, people stole from him. They gave him promises that they didn't follow through from, which is what they always fucking do. That's what they did to all of us. They have you jump through fucking little hoops for them, and then they just pull the carrot away from your nose. Too bad, and then they throw you fucking away. And that's what the mainstream's like. And right now, Vinny, he's closing his eyes and he's falling backwards, and he's trusting the fans. And the fact that you reached out and you helped him like that, and you helped us actually, take that down, man, I'll take a punch for you. If you need me for anything.
I appreciate that.
You need me for anything.
I felt it was necessary, and like you said, being ethical, I needed to step up and support him. Because,
man of principle.
The whole community has been so supportive and encouraging, so I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you're like, you've got my loyalty. If you need anything, just ask.
Appreciate it.
Where it's hard, we got people trying to cancel us, we got people screwing around, altering screenshots, making shit up, destroying reputations, like clipping things out of context, perpetrating fraud, character assassination. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous what we have to go through here to ultimately make stories about comic books, about
superheroes. I mean, why are we so vilified?
Yeah,
we're just making comic books. Settle down, people.
Right. Just like that. Yeah, making books like
me.
That.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about that one. Liam's on here to show his book too, right?
Oh no, my books. I'm not selling anything. It's done. If you want to get Xenotype now, you've got to grab it from the secondary market. It was up for a while. We came out during the peak of we came out during the peak of COVID, and we pushed through. They said you can't find a book during COVID. Did it? You can't do a 200-page book. Did it? You can't do this. Did it? You can't do that. Did it? Oh, everything they said we couldn't do, we did. You can't fund your book in excess of $20,000 without Ethan Van Sciver. Did it? Did it all. So hard work can overcome hate campaigns, troll campaigns, people trying to tear you down. Just stick with it. Good quality product, work hard, get your stuff out there, try and make good stories, and you will succeed in this marketplace. No one can keep you down. I'm an example of that. I've had more people trying to keep me down than just about anyone else. And for about 2 years now, and I've been able to keep winning, and I'm going to keep on winning.
Excellent.
So
glad to hear it.
We're gonna run again in 2024. We're gonna keep winning.
That's right. I'm gonna keep on winning. That's right.
Oh man, I think there's a lot of people out there who have what I call LDS. Yeah.
Liam derangement. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty wild. But at the same time, I got a kid coming. My life's together. I'm the top selling comic book creator in Australia. I got tons of opportunity ahead of me all the time. I got a bunch of work that I can put out real soon that's, going to be on par, if not superior to Xenotype. And I'm going to just keep sticking with it. I'm going to keep helping people, and I'm going to try and make things better as best I can.
Looking forward to seeing them. And congratulations.
Thanks, man. People will figure out with me eventually what's real and what's just people being spurgs. I think if you just give them enough time to look at the reality of stuff and stop sort of jumping onto stupidity, they'll see. But I ain't stopping.
I wanted to ask you a couple of things about Xenotype while I had you here.
Sure.
But first, let's take a look at Dojo-kun's video for the Siamese before. Did you have anything else you want to tell us about?
No, I think if you play the trailer one more time, that'd be a great way for me to bow out. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning here, so I got to get up in a couple hours and get back to that fraud examiner thing.
Oh man, yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm looking out for you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to kick you off, but yeah, it's 2 a.m. there.
Right. Thank you so much, and good to meet you, Liam.
No, it was nice to meet you too. Thank you again for what you did for Vinny. Again, if you need anything at all, not just comic stuff, if you need anything, let me know, and I'll take care of you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very well appreciated. Here we go. Let's take a look at the Siamese trade paperback.
From Dojo-kun Comics comes Siamese, the story of two Chinese-American college graduates whose deviation gene make them extraordinary enough to become superheroines. This trade paperback combines the 4-issue Siamese miniseries previously published by Dojo-kun Comics. As our ladies discover their newfound power, we'll be introduced to other Dojo-kun Comics characters such as the Countryman, Breathtaker, Brickhouse, the Scarlet Archer, and Psionica. Dojo-kun Comics has released over a dozen comics so far. You can pledge with confidence knowing that obligations will be fulfilled. Superheroes are coming back. Don't miss out on Siamese.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Good guy. I'm glad you invited me on, and I said yes because I wouldn't have known that Dojo was the guy that helped out with any otherwise.
Oh yeah, so, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Thanks for having me.
Exclusive. Oh, thank you for coming. Yeah, you're a mensch as well. Man, yeah. So, dude, what I read Xenotype. I love it.
Excellent.
I got this is a Blood Hunt bookmark, but yeah, I completed it.
Nice.
Oh yes, I love it.
Big beautiful brick. Did you notice how? Did you notice how if you look at the book from the top, it starts white and then slowly turns black throughout as you go through the storyline on the top of the page?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It gets darker and darker.
It's evolution. Evolve or die. It's
evolve or die.
And some people, who are not accustomed to reading manga might say, "Oh my God, it's one fight extended through 7 chapters."
Well,
But,
I would argue that it is many fights disguised as one fight. You know what I mean? Like
it's
it's
an
about
evolution.
it's struggle and overcoming and forcing forward or failure acceptance, and like it's and character growth. Like it's the whole book was built upon the principles of self-actualization. You know what I mean? It's all about facing your shortcomings and discovering who you might be, what you could be. And it ultimately doesn't end with a hard answer to that, but with more questions, because it was built to be an ongoing series as a superhero soap opera, But so I understand if you have questions.
Yeah, I totally get that though. I used to read a lot of manga, but it was kind of because of that things were just so long and drawn out that I stopped collecting, and it was around the mid '90s, I think. That's when I stopped collecting manga. But I had a good 10-year run of reading and collecting stuff. This reminds me of the good old days, and your
and
artwork is phenomenal, of course.
Thank you. And for Xenotype, like for the length of the fight, like no one seemed. This is my sort of first time saying it publicly, but no one's kind of figured out that like the long fight was part of sort of that's me being ironic, like because like and me building universe building, because you get through this massive fight, right? And he finally wins. You're like, holy shit, that was a slog. And then you've got that scene with Mao where Exion is coming before Mao, and he's like, this guy was killed when we arrived and everything. And Mao's like the Omen don't have anything that can defeat one of our low-level operatives. And that's it, like you're meant to be like, oh, holy shit.
He was low level, exactly. Yeah, I know. It made me think, of course, maybe one with psychic abilities with incredible psychic abilities would probably be way stronger, because you could do all kinds of things subterfuge and just confusion and all kinds of things before a strength type could even get to you.
Exactly. It's like, and there's a lot of wild stuff there, like but like I layered it in because ultimately like Xenotype was meant to it was a shonen series that would evolve into a seinen series, and it was written for 14-year-olds, right? So like I wrote it, the reason it didn't have a lot of dialogue and stuff like that is because it is styled more to the manga style than the Western style on sort of the gateway into it. And I wanted people to be able to just sit there and read and then look at the art, look at Odie's amazing artwork taking up that page. And
poor kid.
What people don't realize is a lot of that art is my storytelling. It's me telling Odie what to draw and how to draw it, I
totally see that. I can totally see it.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's like, you're meant to go through it. You're meant to just read it very quickly and flip through it. And then at the end, you sit down and you just be like, oh, wow, I read this in one sitting, which was the goal ultimately, like I wanted people to just sort of like get stuff and sort of start to ask questions about things and see the world that was sort of laid out before them. So they had a full engaging experience.
Yeah, but I didn't read it in one sitting. I savored it because the storytelling. But I was wondering also why is the story set in Vangloria? Vangloria, right?
Yeah.
The analog for the U.S. Why not set it in Tristitia? The analog for Australia.
Because you're clever, aren't you? So I wanted to ultimately use Xenotype to make commentary on the oppression of fundamentally the oppression of the creative, right? Back in the day, like there's a lot of stuff that went into the development of Xenotype. A lot. It's more than just what it looks like on the surface. There's a lot of ideas there that may not be realized now. It sort of makes me sad, but fundamentally, I wanted to talk about Hollywood, and I wanted to talk about how once upon a time, men wanted to be scientists and firefighters and grand things. But in the modern day, everything is sort of now all kids growing up, they want to be artists. They want to be YouTubers. They want to be celebrities more than anything else. They don't want to be astronauts or anything anymore, right? So it is meant to be a juxtaposed situation that's very dynamic between the dreamer and his aspiration and the unimaginative corporate tyrannical control of everything, which is why the Al-Naga run all of the world from the shadows, decide who can succeed and who can't succeed, and have a rigid system of control that they themselves are enslaved to while they are enslaving other people beneath them. Yeah. You see that the Balvor himself is someone that says, like, I'm sick of the boss busting my balls. I just want to be able to kill whoever I want to kill because that's what I'm meant to do. He himself is a victim of the very system that they have constructed that has gone against what he was supposed to do. And you would find out more about that in later issues, why he made those choices and did what he did. His connection to Robin.
And can we say this because his story continues, or?
Well, as it is, I want to continue it. But we'll see. I've had the option of continuing it with other artists other than Odie, while Odie focuses on doing his current project. But it doesn't feel right to me to do it. I developed this with Odie. I developed it for his art style. And so I don't want to sort of continue further. I'm just going to give him like a year to do his own thing and let him figure things out, and he'll see the costs and everything for himself. And then I think he'll come back. We're still friends. There's no big drama, like everyone's making it out to be something more than it is. But it's just, this is his first project, his first release. And, so he was looking at the project.
Xenotype, the second.
Yeah. Xenotype is currently on hiatus until he comes back or I get another artist. I haven't decided. I'm focusing on the things I've got mostly done before I go back to look at what's happening with Xenotype. But to bring it back to the actual question that you had about why Vangloria, why not Tristia and stuff. Each of the elders have a different form of have enslaved mankind in a different way. So Mao, who is actually originally from the African region, right? He's not actually from Vangloria. He's filling in. Yeah. So Mao is symbolic of pride. So he essentially manipulates mankind by creating conflict within man so that they war with themselves. And I wanted to sort of use that to sort of highlight the what was going on with Hollywood and how entertainment was once it was a place of imagination and escape from the toil of life, whereas now it's a battle zone, and how it had shifted. And I wanted to talk about pride and stuff like that. And I have this young dreamer go up against a stagnant corporate machine with literally the ability to reinvent himself on a cellular level to be what he needs to be. He starts out mimicking other superheroes and stuff and things that he's seen in his dreams, which is why you'll notice that parts of his design are very similar to Batman and
Spider-Man with the energy webs. I
exactly.
guess.
Yeah, exactly. And
you'll brings me to when he was drawing the character. Did he know the name of the character, or was it just something he just dreamt up, or did he have a name and a story for it?
He hasn't been named as of yet in the first issue, but I can't give away spoilers even because I have such a huge storyline, but I started calling him Esper and he started using the name Esper because it's actually a racial slur like the N-word. So
really,
because psychics are so sort of like they're shunned, they're outcast, like it's seen as like bad in their society.
Could be invasive, into your head.
And because they can think for themselves, they can resist the mind. They can resist some of the mind control of the Al-Naga and stuff. So the Al-Naga have built a society where psychers are espers, as they're called, are second-class citizens. They're like seen as like They're bad. That's the reason, if you look at the back of the book, you'll see that the xenomarks that they have, they're worn as marks of teenage rebellion, even though for the people that have them, they're birthmarks. Teenagers will paint like a xenomark on their face because it's like, fuck you, dad, right?
Yeah.
But like that's sort of what it is. So Esper is a young person who's like, okay, I'm a psychic, I've got these abilities, and I can see the hearts and minds of people now, and I know that these are just people like other people. He takes that name for himself to try and redefine its meaning in the view of the public, to try and be a superhero and fight back against essentially the propaganda campaign that's being waged against him. But again, this is stuff that you'll see in future issues, but very soon in future issues. As right now, the story is very much about Felix discovering who he's going to be and why he's going to be what he is. Because as it is, he just wants to be a superhero because he wants to help his friends. He wants it to sort of stop. He doesn't want to die. And he loves superhero stuff, right? But that's not a really great motivation or a strong motivation to be a hero. And that's going to be explored too. Like, there's a lot in it. If you were to like really sit there and pick it apart and look at it, like there's a lot in that book. But sorry for rambling.
No, it's okay. But I also was wondering about the Kaiser crystals. Is that something that's like inherently generated from all of Oman or the human, the humanoids?
Okay, so the Kaiser crystals. So the Kaiser crystals, okay, are very interesting. I wanted to give my characters superhuman vulnerabilities without making them weak to kryptonite or anything like that. And crystals are very prominent within psionic and psychic culture and stuff, right? They're very common as an object. So when designing Felix, I thought, okay, I came up with each of his superpowers that he could potentially have in addition to his ability to create more by changing himself, And I actually linked them to each of the gems on his bodies based off the chakras, respectively. And so later in the series, like, you can break the gems on Felix, on Esper, when he transforms, and that will take away some of the powers that he has. The Kaiser crystals that he has scattered throughout his body allow him to maintain his transformation when he reawakens his DNA and rewrites himself by keeping a psychic charge flowing through him and keeping him energized. So breaking them in himself can cause instability. The same is true of the Alnaga, where the Alnaga, if you were to sort of take an Alnaga and dissect him, right, you would see that he has through his body, instead of a central nervous system, a lattice of web, like crystalline webbing, like a tree. And the Alnaga itself lurks in the Kaiser crystal gem that you see in the forehead of the creature, right? And then it generates the psychic energy throughout that web, that lattice throughout the body, which allows it to rewrite the DNA and maintain that xenotype, that augmented battle form. That's how they work. So damaging that crystal lattice through sonics or by breaking the gems or whatever damages the ability to distribute the psychic energy throughout the body, which means that they can't maintain their form. So that's what's going on with the Kaiser crystals. And the formation of the Kaiser crystals, which ones you can actually form and how big they are, all of that stuff is connected to the sort of the measure and ability and scope of the psychic powers that the host has, how much power they can generate themselves. So that's what's going on there.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I put a ton of work into this, guys. There's a lot there. There was about 12 volumes worth of planning into all of this. It was going to be a wild ride. I mean, it still will be, hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So you're saying like every human has Kaiser crystals. It's just
this is something that here's a little spoiler for you.
Axel, he took a lot of damage, but he should have been killed in that battle. So is that saying that Axel also has is he going to transform?
No. A lot of people. So I've been interested by the response of Axel. Axel is a very interesting character. I wrote him as sort of everyone in that book has a purpose. Here's the thing, like, there are no humans in the book. Well, there's one human in the book, but I don't think anyone's figured out who the human is. There's only one human in this whole book, and it's everyone else is Omen, which is the native race of this planet, right?
Yeah.
Like every single other person is an Omen except for the Al-Naga. They're Al-Naga, you know. But I forgot what your question was. I did have a point. Let's go on.
Is Axel going to...
Axel. Yeah, no. Axel doesn't have any psychic abilities. Axel has a thing that's called the Archangel response, okay, which is mentioned in the book. Yeah. If you go back and you read it, you'll see that the cops that stand up to Balvor, you know, you'll notice that they've got that same green glint in their eye, and he goes, another one with the Archangel response, and he just kills him straight away.
Yeah.
And you'll notice as well that when he gets Axel, he's like beating the shit out of Axel, right? And he's like, oh, great. And then when he sees Axel, he's like, oh, you would have been great, but you got the fucking Archangel response. So what a waste, you know, like, because he sees him as meat. He sees him as meat, essentially. He sees him as like, oh, you would have been a good host body, but now you're not valid, because the Archangel response is essentially a form of like superhuman willpower. It's not magic or psychic or anything like that. It's just men who have been through difficult lives develop an incredible amount of will, which allows them to resist the influence of the Al-Naga, similar to how psychics do. And it's basically the courage to keep pushing. It's what Batman has. It's just balls of steel. Right? And the Al-Naga want to propagate weakness in the Omen, in their host populace, essentially, because they want subservient slaves. They want people that will be obedient to their will and easily bent and shaped. And so those people who rise up through adversity and have a great deal of courage and determination are actually seen as an inconvenience, as bad genes in the gene pool, you know? And so Axel didn't die, not because Axel has superpowers or is going to get superpowers or he's Felix's secret rival. Axel didn't die because Axel has guts and balls and fucking is hard as shit. Is all that it is. He's just that tough.
Like
that even though
from Sin City,
yeah,
just
exactly, he just won't die. But that said, you'll notice that again, you pick this book apart, you really take the time to read it and look at what I've got. The book ends with Axel, as we've seen, you know. We see here, you know.
Why end with Axel? What's going on there?
It ends with Axel.
I regret getting it in color. I wish I've gotten. I guess if it comes around again, hopefully I get the color one. You know, I'm sorry, Scotsman, who was the fantastic colors for this, but I just wanted the black and white traditional version because no, that's fine. But it ends with that. It ends with Axel because that's the close of the story, isn't it? So essentially, if you follow through the narrative, you'll see that Felix is like, Axel, you're not meant to be fighting, dude. Like, you're gonna get the coach said if you fight again, you're not going to be able to fight anymore. You're going to throw your future away, and you're the only one of us who has a future. This will be explored a little bit later, but that's very important because Axel actually came from the subsector, not like Sector 3 like the rest of these guys. And he was elevated to Sector 3 in his social status because he was a good fighter. So he actually comes from very low poverty, right? And he is essentially a sports candidate for the blood sports, which are essentially gladiatorial death matches that people fight for entertainment. It's what they have instead of basketball in this horrific world, you know, like you have to like go through the Running Man and then get into like a big boxing match in the end, right? And so it's like a big sort of challenge death game thing. And it's like he's one of these young candidates that are being groomed to go into this fighting game, right? But because he's been fighting in the streets with school, he's been just like stirring shit, you know, like he doesn't take crap from people. He's going to be disbarred. But then he goes and he gets into this fight, you know, and he has a potential. He could become a millionaire. He could become a world champion. He's
a young up and coming talent. Like he's been picked. And then he goes and he gets in fight with this Balvor, and this Balvor destroys his body.
Yeah.
Just wrecks him. And it's just his willpower that keeps him going. And so after the fight, he feels betrayed by Felix, who was his friend, who like, he's like, what, you've had superpowers all this time? Like, what the fuck aren't you telling me? You know, like, and I have no function anymore because my whole identity was protecting you.
Yeah.
And you're stronger than I could ever be.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to fight. You've never had to fight. You're a little soy bitch is in what's going on in his mind. But he still loves that kid. He's his best friend. So with willpower, he just drags himself back to the gym. And he's just like washes himself up and he's like, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. And then he sort of forces himself up into the ring and like passes out in that final scene. He's like, this is what it takes to be the best. And he just passes out. And I wanted it vague as to whether or not he even lived, you know, but people haven't quite got that. I think I could have probably written it a bit better to note that he was dying. But because in the second volume, sorry. Yeah, so that's the problem. He conveyed so much high T-ness that everyone just thought he was tired, right? But I probably should have put more blood or whatever. But the goal here was to sort of in the second issue, in the second volume, without spoiling too much, Felix is just thrown away. Not Felix. Axel is just thrown away his shot at the championship title. He can't like his body. He's going to take him at least 6 to 12 months to recover. So like even if he wanted to fight, like he can't. Like he's fucked. The muscles and tendons are torn in his arms and stuff. Like he's screwed. Yeah. So that's sort of the fate that we have of Axel, and it's sort of like meant to be kind of sad because Felix himself, as you saw from the fight, I'll shut up in a minute, but Felix you saw from the fight, Felix doesn't know how to fight. Felix has no fucking idea what he's doing. He's an art nerd.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
He was like, it was working when he wasn't thinking about it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, but
yeah.
So
and
sorry for the
Felix,
rant. But,
Felix, when you said that you named Felix after Felix the cat.
Yes, he's named after Felix the cat.
And why is that?
Well, in my very first original depiction of Esper, before I drew him, before Odie redesigned him, right, as to what he looks like now, he was black and white, completely black and white, and it was sort of symbolic of yin and yang. I had like extra sort of layer of detail in that, like in his design. But when Odie redesigned him, he wanted to do a really complex design because he thought that would be a real way to show off his talent. I disagreed. I wanted something more simpler and more iconic, but it worked. And his form was always going to change anyway, right? So that's the reason that he's got all the blue and everything through him and how he looks now. But he was originally just going to be like blue and white, kind of like yin and yang or a killer whale, like in his skin tone. So, and so I named him after Felix. Also because it's a Hispanic name, because as I'm sure that you might have noticed, all of the names of all of the Omen from certain sectors are different classes of race, because the Alnaga are horrible jackasses, you know? They've got people organized by breeding stock and what they can sort of so like this person probably can't meet with this person, and you know, you've got like the Romeo Juliet, like you can't be with that person stuff, and it's just built into their society as a system of control, but they've never known anything else, so they don't resist it. So do I have any design sketches? Yes, I do. Yeah, many.
Yeah, and what's with the cat? So you like you got Felix the cat, and you're mutilating a cat.
You're clever. You know, you're asking me the best questions of anyone that's asked me about the book so far. Thank you. You know, like you're actually looking at what's in it. You're picking up on the subtext. I read
all my books. A lot of these people in Comicsgate, they say, "Oh, yeah, I'm a I'm a customer. I crowdfund." But they don't read the books.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, now Mao is a cat. Yeah. Yeah. So I won't say more, but good eye. Good eye.
Okay. There's three instances of cats that I could think. Felix the cat, there's Mao, and then there's the mutilated cat.
I work in a lot of symbolism, and I work in a lot of like mysticism, shamanism, stuff like that that's not immediately obvious, stuff that like was going to be more explored later. Like if we go to Mao as well.
Kind of why I was drawn to this book, because I'm totally into that too, and Gnosticism and mysticism, alchemy, and all that.
You see that you've got the Olmec head on the pyramid.
Oh yeah,
from the Olmecs. You know, you'll see that like there's a lot of stuff in this that like it would have just blown people's minds if like you'll see here that there's there's some Aztec wall carvings. If you want to sort of hold on a second here, if you go and sort of hunt around in the background of things, you'll see that these Aztec wall paintings. What do they mean? What are they connected to? Why do they exist? Like all of this stuff is in there, and it's great if you can sort of fan theory about it, and I'll see what people come up with. But yeah, thank you for noticing.
Yeah, that's what I plan for in the later volumes of Nephilim Squadron, that there's going to be signs and symbols everywhere as to indicate as to what's going on, because there's a larger meta story around what the story you see reading. And who is this? Oh my God. Testify.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Look at this guy.
Yeah. Your career is ruined. Your career is ruined. What'll you ever do? What do you do now?
I'm canceled before I even get started,
Yeah.
Well. Oh, and one last thing I wanted to bring up about are you a fan of Dr. Michio Kaku?
A little bit. Why?
Because I saw in the back of the book you mentioned the Type 0 civilization. That's like one of the big tenets of his book Hyperspace. There's the Type 0 civilization, which is us.
I have loved this interview. This has been my favorite show. Like you're getting all the stuff that I put in there. No one else got any of the stuff that I put in there, dude. Like you're the first person to mention this. I'm like, thank you. Yes, there's a lot. This is a science fiction horror series. It's not a superhero. Like that superhero is a big part of it, but this is a science fiction horror series. So it was meant to be a commentary on society and self-actualization and self-realization and finding one's place in the universe, right? So
that's exactly what I'm going for with my book, but in a totally different way. But that's why.
Well, tell me all about that. Tell me all about that.
Well, first, remember months ago? I don't know. You probably don't remember months ago, but I sent you a message on through Indiegogo about what the hell is this character? What is this thing here? And in this picture you sent in one of your updates, it was like the little ghost character. And that's So I've been seeing a lot of elements of things that I'm interested in and that are parts of my story that I've seen in a lot of people in the crowdfunding community in their stories, and it kind of lit a spark under me and inspired me. And
well, that's good. That's good.
I gotta get this thing done now before someone totally takes my exact story, which is Nephilim Squadron Chapter 1 with extras. I don't have a video because this is kind of a slapdash dive into crowdfunding, and Chapter 1 is just a black and white version of the volume 1, which is going to be chapters 1 through 3 in color, and I'm going to launch that later this year or in the summer. So basically, and the story is that it's a story of a clone pilot in the 28th century who desires a soul, and he's a part of a war on a colonized planet. And through the course of his journey, he discovers that his destiny is larger than just having a soul, and on a macro level, it's also an ancient mythological tale retold 700 years in the future.
Hey, I love that stuff. So when you say he doesn't have a soul, does he feel the absence of a soul, or is it just kind of a thing where it's society says because he is a clone?
It's
He
just because society says, yeah. But there's also I've never mentioned this before on stream. But there's also a technology that that can extract, pretty much trap y- uh, entities from other dimensions. Basically, what we might have thought of as ghosts,
Mhm.
and when these entities are trapped, they're used for entertainment purposes.
Mhm.
And this, it causes Taru, our hero, to wonder about like his
What's his
own.
name? What's his name again?
Taru, Taru.
Taru?
Yeah.
Taru? Okay, cool. Yep. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Causes him, he has this existential crisis, and and like yours, there's a lot of action, but it's a lot deeper than well, what it appears to be. And
Yeah.
yeah, these pages here in black and white, right now there's not much rendering, and they're kind of open, but that's because for the color version, they're going to be
So what's happening with the eye there? 1 minute. Scroll up for a second. Scroll up there in that bottom eye. See, there's some sort of effect going on there. Is that a different iris? Is that for some sort of? Is that a superhuman ability or something like that, or is it just a scope for like targeting, or like what is that?
No, that's his iris. That's what the clones in this future, they're called Taquin, and they're just not copies of humans. They're specially made to do tachyon travel, and their irises are shaped differently. They're kind of like this weird like star pattern. So that's just his eye, and it like pupils, his whole iris, can expands and contracts like our pupils do. So it'll get smaller and bigger, depending on the light.
Interesting.
Too. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, Taquin is an ancient alchemical process of creating a clone, and there's also
cool.
a reason for that too.
Yeah, no, that's fun to hear.
Yeah, so I got my sexy pinup tossed in there, and here's a look at the heroes: Taru, Mecha, and Jason.
I like the old retro anime style blue hair, where it's like that's the kind of hair that Felix was meant to have. Felix was meant to have that old like dark blue colored hair. Like,
I love that.
Yeah, so do I.
And these are the wacky aliens on the planet that the human civilization that were formerly colonists, but they formed a civilization over generations. They have started a war with these wacky humanoid aliens. And then we have like the Star Trek Federation like organization called Sol, the Sol Interstellar Forces. And
you've given a lot of thought to this. This is highly organized, so I'll give you that.
Unorganized. I've never heard that one before.
Well, you've got an idea, a system of control, who your Starfleet are. You've got your characters. It's all lined up. It's not overabundant, but it's plentiful to keep you on track with what it is. And for 32 pages, I'd be worried that you'd be able to cram all of that in.
Oh no! This is just an intro. This is just chapter 1 to introduce you to the world. And
so you've got scroll up for a second. You've got up here. I see some too far down. Oh, yeah. I say you've got some trading cards. You've got one by Sims. You've got one by Russ Leach and Preston Acevedo. Those are three of the sort of best guys I know. They're great, especially Russ Leach. I'm really keen to. Oh, Preston's fantastic too, but like Russ Leach is someone whose career I'm watching very closely. I've got a lot of high hopes for him. He's a very talented man.
Yeah, he's my demographic.
Yeah,
his style of art.
He was overlooked, I think because maybe he was too good.
I thought everybody knew him. You mean overlooked in Comicsgate or overlooked in the mainstream?
Yeah. Oh well. Bit of both. I think he's very talented at what he does.
Oh no,
So,
his campaign should be definitely should be doing a lot better than it is. But
yeah.
so should mine and many others. Yeah,
it's all about your eyeballs. It's all about how many people new people you can reach that would be interested in these kind of stories. When I marketed Xenotype, I went outside of Comicsgate. We approached PewDiePie's audience. We were on a whole bunch of anime streams that no one really, made note of. Like with anime, like guys. That's how we met up with RGE and everything. So
yeah.
You got to know your market.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I guess a lot of people in the network here are into the '90s image style, but I come from more of a independent, underground, small press and anime.
It's really weird when we're going through this, right? And you've got high science fiction on the first half of your campaign, and then the lower half of your campaign all seems to be fantasy. That's a bit strange. It's a little jarring, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, believe me, that was it. The stumbling block was noted, and it was a lot worse early on because I had all that my mobile game IP Shield Net Sword. I had all that artwork up front when I first launched the campaign, and then the book was just a 14-page ash can at the beginning because I wasn't really ready ready for prime time, Gotcha. So but I just I got overexcited and did this cross IP campaign, and which is never a good idea unless you're a big name, But if you're first timer and your art is just mediocre like mine, it's probably not. I just got overexcited, but I'm glad I'm getting it out of the way. So I know. Yeah.
How many units moved? How many units did you manage to move of the actual physical copy of the book? How many of you?
The physical. Okay, this includes. Well, actually, there are about 10 more than this because I had the combo pack, the featured tier. I had to change the name because I made the comic a full size comic instead of an ash can, and I had to shrink the size of the prints to balance that out. So before that, I had about 10 people. So there's about 35 of these.
Nice,
and that includes the comic, and then the standalone 25, and 7 of the digital.
I don't see you having any problem with your fulfillment based on your tiers and your perks and your add-ons and your books, your book size, its weights, the weights of your add-ons. You should be within the safe bracket for shipping, and production should not be too impeded in that regard. So
yeah,
they should go for that hitch once you finish the book. How many pages you got to go?
32. It might end up being 36, but I'm not exactly
No, how many
sure.
pages have you got to go? Like,
now I have 17 more pages to ink. And my
So you've done the pencils on them, or you're just inking?
Yeah. Pencils done, well, not tight, but mostly done.
Do you want me to throw a spanner in the works? Do you have a double page spread that embodies the principle of the entire first issue to the best of the sort of summation of it and your best example of your artwork?
Yes.
You do. Good. Excellent.
But
Excellent.
Yeah, see, in fact, when it was just an ash can, what you see here is like the first 13 pages, and in the ash can would be these first 13 pages, and then after this page would be the spectacular double page spread. But I'm not putting it here now.
Yeah, don't. I just wanted to make sure it existed in the book, because it's something that I've noticed when I've been doing editing for some of the other guys in CG and looking at their stuff. I've been like, where's your big hero double page hero shot that defines what your property is? You know what I mean?
And you'll be able to see
need that.
You'll be able to see what these vehicles can actually do also in that double page spread. Yeah.
What are your vehicles called? What are your ships called?
It's called the GLAV, or the GLAV F, Gridline aerial vehicle fighter class.
Cool.
And they don't use propulsion that we use today. They fly through magnetism, and another process that includes what was it called? Vertically aligned nanotubes, and it's some science that I've read about and then expanded upon, and
No, that's rad. That's rad, man. That's awesome. So like giant, they're giant like fucking sort of like death UFOs, like they're
right. They behave like UFOs we see today, or maybe like a hummingbird. They zip around like that.
Yeah. No, I can imagine that. That's cool.
Yeah, because in the 28th century, why would you still be using like even ionic or ions or nuclear powered propulsion?
Yeah,
you'd have to be using something way more exotic.
Yeah,
so that's the thinking behind that.
So those sound FXs that you've got on these pages are filler.
Oh yeah. All that is, of course, placeholder.
I assumed. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Sound effects. Add your own. Bring your own sound effects.
Yeah. Looking good.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm working on it.
I like spaceships and stuff like that, and I like mecha as well. And it's something that we don't see a lot of, and a lot of people aren't really trying to tackle it, and those who are just sort of doing it really clumsy. So it's nice to see actual original designs like that. That ship there, in the second last panel on page 2, like on panel 2 on page 2 there, that looks epic. Like that looks like a genuine alien ship, like something I might see in Tekka Man. It looks really cool.
And it's actually a creature that's been fused with technology for the aliens to fly it. So it's like a cross between an insect and a reptile.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's very cool, man. I like that stuff, And if more people spent time putting books together like what you're doing, and less crying and wishing that people would run a train on them, then we'd have more good books out there,
Yeah, man. Stay positive, and you're solid. You have nothing to worry about, and you're Teflon, dude. I mean, I know I hear a lot of people like screaming at you and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? Testify.
Yeah, Randall Haig.
No. I guess, does everyone know his name? I don't know.
Yeah, well, everyone should. That's who's running their mouth.
Oh, he's like I think of him as like the Freddy Krueger of Comicsgate.
Well, don't, because it's just Randall Haig.
When he tries to come into my streams, it ends up being something like this.
Yeah, what's going on, nigger?
Yoinks!
Oh, what a dance! Yeah, no, I hear you, man.
Well, man, yeah. Hey, thanks for coming on. I know you got a whole bunch of shit to do.
I do actually have to get back to things. I finished up doing a bit of what I've got before I came on, so which is good. But in about an hour and 9 minutes, I need to start color work on one of my other projects. So that's going to be cool. But Happy Jam before I go, he says, "You need a double page spread, Liam?" ? Well, he asks. Yes, you should if you're an indie guy starting out, right? And don't just think about it like, and this is just a Liamism. There's no law, right? But think about like the back of old Transformers box art and stuff like that, where it's that big space scene and it's the Autobots and the Decepticons fighting. Like, think about, like old movie posters, like what you want, a single image that embodies the franchise in the first issue. Something that's going to be big, grand, your best art, better than your cover, because unless you do a wraparound cover, which a lot of people do, you're not going to have the space to do anything like that. Something that will really embody what your franchise is, or the hero that is, the embodiment of your franchise, so that the reader has that burned into their mind when they think of your property, right? Like, you're not just drawing a cool picture, you're creating a moment for the reader, and you're trying to leave an imprint with them. And the best way to do that is to utilize the maximum amount of space that you can and produce the best quality you can, even if it's going to take you like 5-6 times as long to do it, and you got to draw retarded little details in the background that you don't want to draw because no one likes drawing backgrounds. Even if you've got to do all of that, the time spent doing so matters. As I mentioned earlier, because a lot of these guys doing this stuff, single image to embody the franchise, exactly. Because a lot of you guys are like the smaller guys doing this stuff, right? Like me, we've got one shot to to make an impression, and we've got one shot to really sort of hit it home with our work. And we're counting on the customer wanting to return because they're interested in the characters and the storyline. And sometimes less words and more spectacle is a really good way of doing that. My book is character driven, made more book, so it'll take some consideration. It will, and it should take a lot of thought. It should take as much thought as your cover, if not more, because what you want is you want to have a piece of art that is so good that when it's like what I did here with Xenotype. I did 2 of them to open and close the frame of the shot here. We've got these. Sorry, I'll shut up and we can end the stream in a second, I promise. But see here, these opening shots here.
Oh yeah.
It is very important. The to story plot. You might not even think so. You're like, what's this? This is an ancient pyramid and like weird Olmec stuff and dinosaurs. Like, what the hell, you know? You've got that, and then you've got this final shot here. And you're like, what the hell is this? You can look at the background, all these details, and you're like, wow, like what is going on here? Like, and you want people to be thinking of that and bringing that up to other people or as examples of you as an artist. So that's why I said to Odie, like, get that stuff done, you know, because you want to be able to show that off. And it's essential for the fans, because this is all grassroots, it's all word of mouth, right? So you want them to be able to like, oh, fuck, did you see this? Did you see what this guy can do? Like, look at this.
Yeah.
And if that is an ad, and if that is also an ad for you, it's like your work is done, you know? So if someone can look at it and go, that's not just a cool picture, but that's something I want to buy, or that's something that I might be interested in, that's how you get them. So same logic of the cover, pad it out.
The hook. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, I'll shut up now because
meet public.
All right. Well, man, thanks for coming on again, and
thanks for having me. Thanks for asking the smart questions. You've asked me the best questions of anyone that's ever interviewed me.
Wow, no way.
You have.
Hey, somebody record that.
Oh, they will. Everything I do is recorded and uploaded to like 4 different platforms. I've got like 1 million ex-girlfriends that hang on my every word. Then they get angry. They get angry at me for feeling like a rock star when they hang on to everything I do.
Well,
what can I say? What can I say? When you got stalkers, you know, who needs archivists?
Yeah, you got too much shit to do anyway.
I do. I'm going to get to that. So I am very thankful for you having me on, Hex, and it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, Liam, thank you. Thanks for coming on again. And next time we'll have to have some words about Wonder Island, or maybe you're
Wonder
gonna have
Island,
your own stream.
For sure. I'll definitely come on and talk to you about Wonder Island and stuff. We've got a lot of stuff happening with that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's for those of you who are interested, it's a sort of magical fantasy. If you kind of like retro RPGs from the 80s and stuff like that, kind of is in that line of genre. Final Fantasy, stuff like that. Dragon Quest. So a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
As Planet Tobor, has he got his hands in that?
No. But maybe one day.
Oh, that's right. You're not revealing who you're working with anymore.
No. I already revealed Wonder Island's being done by Manga-chan. You know, that's what the Manga-chan's working on. You know, Yeah, I'm working with Manga Chan and Lidl, but after that, I'm not announcing who any of my books are anymore. If my stalkers want to harass my talent, they're gonna have to buy my books and then look in the credits page. I'm sorry guys, sorry.
Oh yeah, I'll be this coming Saturday. I'll be streaming Planet Tobor's Gozen Shard of the.
Oh, badass! That'll be fun. I'll come and check that out.
Savage.
If you at me,
Shard of the
yeah,
Gozen.
yeah. If you at me, I'll come. I'll hang out in the chat and I'll retweet
right.
you and we'll give that a bit of a boost. You can tell me what you think of it because that'll be fun to know.
Oh, I already did. I'm this is a revisit. I did months, sometime in last fall.
What did you think? What do you think?
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. A lot of what do you call it? It's really malleable. You can pick up a lot of things and do a lot of stuff with the.
Isn't it cool the way you can like throw bodies onto spikes and stuff, and then like you can interact with the environment and stuff?
Yeah. Environmental stuff's really great, and
he's going to be wrapping that up soon too. That'll be finished. Yeah, he's got another couple of big updates to do, and then he'll be done with the whole thing. So
nice.
It looks really good too. I've been waiting for him to finish before I do it because like I want to do like a full deep dive into it, but like I don't have time for video games right now. But
yeah, that's why I do a monthly stream so I can just have an excuse to play a game and stream it.
Speaking of deadlines, I'm gonna be a shit. I'm gonna be a shit here, as I am. I'm rude. I interrupt everyone. I'm the worst. What's your deadline looking like for your book? That's something we didn't talk about. What are you thinking?
Oh, yeah. I want to be ready for print by the end of May. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at fulfillment in June.
Are you printing through Mixum or a local place, or you don't have to say? I'm just
it's a local source. And since I live in a major metropolitan city, I figure, hey, all these people talk about Mixum and all these places in Canada. I live in the heart of LA. There's got to be a source here, and there are. Mm-hmm. There are. So I'm trying them out, and I'll after I get my
your proof and stuff.
Yeah. I'll see how good
you're just doing Gemini ship out and stuff. I'm guessing like everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Gemini's close by here too.
remember when you throw your stuff in your Gemini mail if you've got your stuff sleeved, throw masking tape or something as an extra layer down on the interior of the box to hold it down. That would have saved me a bit of a few extra returns I had to do if I had have actually just masking taped things to the interior of the box. So just make sure it's not on the comic. It's just in this. The comic is bagged and boarded and sleeved.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Because you're sending a bunch of cards and you send in a bunch of cards and stuff like that, and they'll all bounce around the box, and then you'll get people bitching and moaning about them having ding corners and stuff. So, yeah,
baby.
All right, brother. Thank you for having me on. It has been a genuine honor. I appreciate it. Enjoy your company.
All right, thanks, Liam, and I'll see you sometime when you stream it, and then I'm like waking up.
Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, share it with your friends. Leave a comment in the comment section. Leave a message in the comment section below. My name is Liam Gray. I'm the founder of Conquest Comics. I'm the creator of Xenotype, Wonder Island, Dino King, and a whole bunch of awesome stuff coming to you sooner than you know. Check out Conquest Comics on YouTube. Subscribe to that for more of what's coming up from me.
Yes.
Love you guys.
And you can catch me on Twitter at Hex_Allen. And mine's is HexAllen X Allen.
Right here.
Yeah. And and going out there and back that Nephilim Squadron Chapter 1. I'll make it damn worth your while. And
give it a shot. It looks like it's more than just clones in space. We know that doesn't work too well, but you add on what he does. The guy's got a huge field of interest, guys. If some of these concepts are new to you, then this might be your opportunity to explore them in a fun, exciting, and entertaining way. And that's our goal here as comic book creators.
And it won't be just another retelling of the story of the Nephilim. It's something different. So people are already doing that. Believe me, I've seen it.
Yeah. The Book of Enoch.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. And remember, you don't need the mainstream. You can break off with us and have a party.